What if I were to tell you that we took the original timber ranch and we made it bigger, but also reduced the cost? That's what you're gonna see in today's home tour. You're gonna wanna see this. Let's touch base on a central theme of this home. We are alongside a lake and everyone wants to visit. They're always entertaining. So thinking of extra seating is always a consideration. This island was made extra deep, allowing for stools on this backside, as well as the side of the island. And then just behind us over here, this is where that main stair used to go. We are on a concrete slab, heated concrete. It's warm and cozy throughout this whole home. But back to the seating, we've got all this extra seating, so when the big game is on that huge TV, everyone can grab pizza from the island and sit right here. We've got drinks easily accessible in the center of the kitchen with that 48-inch wide refrigerator. These are professional series appliances. I love the gas cooktop, got the professional series range, and the stone hood above. There are so many dramatic elements that pull our eye up in this kitchen with this extra tall refrigerator, of course the stone hood, and then even tapering the cabinets up, and we see the dramatic band board wrapping around the kitchen and then pulling our eye up to the upper gable. How often do you have windows like that above your kitchen? There's so many bells and whistles and a ton of great cabinet features. Take a look at this corner cabinet. Think of all those times there have been lazy Susans. Well, now we have drawers that pull out, making really good use of that space. Of course, we want drawers on each side of the range. This one's pretty great because we can have all of our utensils, large ladles and spoons. Of course, the microwave drawer. Another client chose that microwave drawer just thinking about the accessibility of it in the future. If you're ever in a wheelchair, you can easily access it. Now let's go around over here to this side of the kitchen. We have two extra big drawers. There's even a hidden drawer in there as well. We've got a cutlery divider in this space. That is wonderful. Even have a wastebasket pull-out, more cutlery dividers, and take a look at this. This is a peg organizer. A lot of times you would think that your dishes would go above you in those upper cabinets, but that can become cumbersome in old age. It's nice to be able to visually see all these dishes, and hey, if there are young grandkids around, they can grab those dishes as well. That's pretty convenient. The great thing about continuing the kitchen beyond the primary kitchen space is that first of all, it makes the kitchen seem visually larger, and it's very practical. What a great drop zone just outside the front entry door. And then we also, of course, have the garage access right over there. You'll notice that these base cabinets are primarily drawers. We've opted away from the hinged doors. This is just so convenient for homeowners to be able to easily store things in those drawers and then tuck them away so that when you do pull them out, you can access the back of the drawer easily. Rather than making this door extra tall, we've added more character and interest by having the split wall cabinet with glass in those upper doors. While it could be backlit in there and it would obscure the items that are in the cabinet, even if you don't backlight it, it looks really good and it catches the ambient light in the room. These are wonderful pulls. Take a look at that kind of a lantern pull there, and I especially like the larger pull hardware that we see throughout this perimeter of the kitchen. The color on those pulls were intentionally selected to tie into the dining room table, the legs on these stools, as well as the accenting island. It all comes together for a perfect cohesive blend. I love that dynamic of having an accented island that is so drastically different than the perimeter of the kitchen. By the way, let's touch on wood species. We've got rustic alder on these cabinets. You can tell by those beautiful knots and the blushing in the wood. And then we have a very clear wood over here on the perimeter because we're keeping more of a painted black. So that's a painted birch wood species. This island has a beautiful apron front sink, a black stainless steel. I just think it looks awesome. Oftentimes black metal elements in homes, they add a more rustic feel. And when you have black stainless, it's a rustic elegance. Pairs perfectly with a huge range hood like we have here. A trash compactor on one side, dishwasher on the other. Now you might be thinking, well, why a trash compactor? We are in a pretty remote area, so there's not regular garbage pickup. Having a trash compactor is extra convenient. Now, you gotta think about a dishwasher in an open concept space like this. You gotta make sure that it has a very low decibel rating so that it is quiet when everyone's congregating or if you're watching a movie over there, which this one is. Whisper silent. This home takes electrical planning to a whole new level. Take a look above me with these lights that are shining up on those mortise and tenon timber trusses. There's above cabinet lighting above me. Look how dynamic that is as it overflows onto that corner unit. Then we have under cabinet lighting, and I've never seen this before. As the island wraps around, there's lighting underneath the countertop, shining onto those hand-hewn beams. That looks awesome. Just love the attention to detail right there. When you first look at this kitchen, you probably don't notice the backsplash. It plays a very subtle supportive role in the overall aesthetic. It blends into the drywall from a distance, and the countertops do a similar effect. These are more simple in their design, whereas we have a very ornate quartz slab on the island. The colors in the slab pull into the black finish on the island and the black stainless on the sink. It is perfect. While this is stunning, and it is so tempting to do this on the entire kitchen, we need to reserve space for our eye to just easily rest along the backdrop and pull our attention to the island and that massive range hood. On a home like this, it is very common and appropriate to have shaker style doors as we do here, but it doesn't mean that everything needs to be square edged and flat. Take a look at the under cabinet molding. There's a beautiful decorative molding here, as well as a very dramatic crown molding above us. Well, this is a professional series refrigerator, which is only 24 inches deep, and it could have stopped here. We brought this side panel out an extra 3 inches, allowing a great opportunity for the countertop to die into the end of it. Now notice how this is flat. We have applied decorative door panels to the sides of all the upper wall cabinets as well as the base cabinets. You'll see that on the island as well as this exposed end just over here. I think that that's very important because when you're looking at the kitchen from this distance, it adds more character. We can get more large knots in these end panels than you would have on a typical cabinet end panel. So it adds a lot more interest. And anytime we have a change in different wood directions, we also have more visual interest. Now imagine you're bringing in groceries. You can set them all right here, load them into the refrigerator, or bring them over to this pantry. Now this pantry looks good. Take a look at that extra thick rustic shelving going all the way from floor to ceiling. There's such great use of this space, and it looks like a Pinterest pantry to me. It just looks great in there. We've got really good lighting, making it very easy to read all the labels, and then you can see everything. Now what's important about a pantry is that those shelves don't go extra deep. So those are about 12 inches deep, allowing for you to really have good management over what's in there, and you can visually see everything. With a variety of different wood species and colors in this home, we're able to bring it all together with our one-stop design center showroom, where we're hand-picking all these stains, the pre-finishings, and even take a look at how it tied in to this hand-scraped hickory flooring. I just love using hickory on floor coverings because there's such variability with the different textures, with highs and dark spots. It really ties together well with the home. As we transition over, we do have accenting barn doors, so we've still stayed with the rustic alder, but gone to more of a dark brown finish, which ties into the luxury vinyl planking. So we've got the double diagonal on these barn doors with a very traditional hanger above. Let's not overlook the front door. 3 feet wide, 8 feet tall, 1.75 inches thick, very much a shaker style door. Now this looks like it's wood because of all the texture in here. In fact, this is fiberglass simulating a fir wood grain pattern. Oh, before I close the door, this is a multi-point lock door. That's pretty great. What I like about the multi-point on this door is that when you close the door, these automatically are spring loaded, so they will engage. And then when you actually go to lock the door, it'll push it into the jamb even further. So yes, you will get that extra energy efficiency, and it is also extra secure as well. With the 8-foot tall door, we're able to push up these 3 simulated divided lights, still bringing in light into this foyer, but it also prevents the delivery guy from being able to see into this space when he drops off a package. What I also like is how we integrated this big 6x12 beam, and it incorporated it as a top trim for the door, overlapping it beyond this 4x8 post, and then pulling it down as support for those beams above. The lighting selections in this home are at a whole new level. There are lights that you don't even see, like what's above us over here. Of course, we have these very visually present lights, like in the foyer, the dining room, and the island. Even take a look at the spotlights on all these beams. Now, come over here, we see metal strapping going around that fixture, as well as supporting it. And then the seated glass. It's nice to have some texture in your glass on light fixtures. That way, if they ever look a little bit dusty, it's not even noticeable. And of course, it adds more visual interest and a little bit of a rustic flair. A lot of people love the visual interest that the fireplace brings to the great room. And locating it centered on this grand feature wall is the perfect location. It allows for a very dramatic visual effect going all the way up to the ridge beam at the top of this room. And then of course we've got that very iconic backlit clock. This is a clock from Rustica. We have seen this in many of our homes. A lot of clients love choosing this. And then it is dimmable as well. So you could have it bright as it is right now. And then when you are watching the movie, bring it down. So it's just a little night light. This is an incredible fireplace, a sealed door unit, 45 inches wide, French doors. This is a Montgomery Hearthstone. This thing will heat the home. Now we've got radiant in-floor heat, which is fed by a boiler, and this has a fan on it as well, so this will push out a ton of heat if you wish. Now today we have that fan turned off, so we just have the beautiful flame in there. We've raised the hearth up and continue with a continuous hearth all the way across, making this really easy to keep clean. And then this fireplace chase, it's even a little bit wider than that original timber ranch. We've got access to the outdoors on both sides, and then we continue up with the trapezoidal units in that upper gable. It allows for great views of all the eagles flying around above the lake. This hearth looks like it's wood, but in fact, this is concrete, and it has a simulated hewing in it perfect for this home. Now, when you have two similar colors that are very close in color tone, you want to make sure that they match perfectly, which is why this was perfectly color matched to the clock. I just think that is great foresight and detail. With an extra large great room like this, we don't have furniture up against the wall. It's so nice to be able to have access to move around this space. Now, when you do that, you need to think about your outlet placement in the floors. And especially with this home, with it being a concrete slab, all of this was thought of ahead of time. We've got outlets for these lamps, and they're all on a switch, so you can easily turn these on, of course, with the light switch. Even thinking about how are you gonna use your mantle? So at Christmas time, you're gonna wanna plug in those Christmas lights. There is an outlet up there as well. When you're in a home like this, you're naturally gonna be looking up at all the craftsmanship. There are 3 mortise and tenon timber trusses. So each of those are hand hewn. They vary in different sizes, adding more visual interest and dimension. Those come down and they connect into these 6x12 band boards, which then sit on 4x8 support posts. It just looks awesome to have all that visual interest. And we don't stop there. You should see the base trim. This is huge. And take a look at the detail on this, how it dies in to that large post. It's the varying depths that create such shadow and dimension. Adds a lot of interest in the home. And when you've got great natural light, combined with all the support lighting in the home, this hand-hewn texture looks different throughout the day. Let's make our way over here. We have one of the guest bathrooms and then 2 guest bedrooms. This is where you'll start to see some more dramatic changes to that original timber ranch. This wing of the house has gotten a lot bigger, and we've also seen a big change in those ceiling planes, where we come to a cathedral ceiling up here with that massive 4x12 ridge beam at the top. I just love the visual effect of that. It makes each of these feel like they're their own master suite. When you've got views on both sides of the home, it's hard to decide which room will you pick. There are even closet systems inside of these rooms. Really great for organization, keeping everything tidy. The homeowners said, we don't want dressers sitting out. We want it all to remain in the closet, which is why those are perfect for that space. And then take a look at the guest bathroom. Your eye draws in to that big window with the obscure glass. It diffuses all the light, creating a very soft effect in the room. Of course, it is for privacy, but it also is a good way to allow you to use the space without having to always turn on the light when you enter the bathroom. I wanted to point out this beautiful quartz top with the beveled edge, and then we have a rustic hickory cabinet. All these drawers make for really good flexible storage. And then we've got this massive mirror trimmed out in our hand-hewn material. Take a look at these lights. They bring in so much great light, and then that reflects off the mirror as well. A great thing about a custom shower is we can take up the whole width of this space. And we can also create whatever elements we would like within it. Custom shower niches. Look at these different sizes, perfect for soaps in this lower portion, and then tall shampoos over here. And then whether you need help shaving your legs or washing your feet, there's a niche down there to offer support. Also, large format tile on the walls, and then a much smaller format tile on the floors. Why is that done? It's to help create the perfect taper to that center drain. Just think that is great. Once again, like that backsplash that we had in the kitchen where it was subtle and it kind of blended into the drywall, we have that happening in that space as well. Now take a look at this. Haven't seen this before. There are pocket doors. It allows for this to become a private space when your guests are visiting. I think that is absolutely great. The doors that we have in this home are a 3-panel shaker, 8 foot tall. It's perfect for a home of this height. There are really great ceiling heights in here. This is a 10-foot wall. It was 9 foot on the side walls of the home, but we're at 10 foot here, and it goes all the way up to around 23 feet at the peak. If you had a 6'8" door, it just wouldn't look appropriate in this space. Now there are some rooms to consider where a 6'8" door would work really well, such as a laundry room, something really off to the side of the home. So we'll see that later on in the tour. You can't just put any ordinary fan in this room. It's gotta be something impressive that fills that visual volume of space. This large windmill fan spans over 6 feet in diameter. Look at all those blades on there. It is also self-balancing. You'll want to spend the extra money for a self-balancing fan so that it performs more efficiently and quietly. Let's look at all the great ideas in the master suite. We've got a great view of the lake from the master suite. And while you may consider that, of course, you want to take in those lake views, the homeowners love laying in bed and looking up at the night sky and seeing all the great stars. Now, in the event that they do want to use their shades, in this case, these are actually blinds, but shades are an option as well. Those are integrated into the window. There's an operable third pane of glass, so that's hinged in there. We can adjust how those operate. Now, you may want to consider you're going to probably put in window treatments anyway, so why not build that into the window package? And that is great because they remain dust-free. You never have to clean them. That is convenient. With extra high ceilings in homes like this, it creates a great opportunity to incorporate a loft space. Just imagine if this wall continued all the way up. This wall would be very difficult to decorate. But now we're able to continue with that visual space. We can overlook up into the loft. We can see that rebar, those spindles with the nice metal elements, and then we've got our edge-worn pine rails and 8x8 hand-hewn newel posts. It all looks so good. I really like the idea of being able to see that big 4x12 ridge beam up there. It offers so much structural interest to the home, which is great seeing how all these timbers come together. And what a large master bathroom. There's so much space in here. It's great to consider that There is a lot of accessibility. It's nice that you can move around easily. We've got a zero barrier walk-in shower. That is just a massive shower. Got a really big bench in here. More of those custom niches, a hand wand. So not only is this convenient, of course, for your daily use, but even for washing down the shower as well. Something I really like about what was done in here is tiling off the ceiling of the shower. I think that just adds such a classy aesthetic rather than continuing with the wood from the rest of the bathroom. Makes it just a very individualized area. And then we have a little powder room over here. So you got the toilet, a nice window, got obscure glass on both of those windows. And then take a look at the massive mirror in this space. Just imagine having this much space in your bathroom. Look at all these countertops. There's plenty of storage below with all these drawers, even an inverted drawer base down here. See, usually this would be a false drawer above because there'd be the sink basin behind it, but we've reversed it all, brought that drawer below, and now you get extra storage. Just think that's a great idea. We've got the double sinks, wall-mounted faucets, so it keeps this all clear as well as easy to clean. And then continuing with an extra large mirror and our hand-hewn materials framing it out. See, this is something that looks extraordinary. You don't just find this at a store. This is something that's custom done for the home, which is perfect for a home like this. When comparing to that original timber ranch, I love what they've done with adding these 4x8 beams above and then even making this case opening extra tall, because why not? We've got an 8-foot tall door right here, and then we just bring the header up a little taller. It doesn't really cost any more. We continue into the walk-in closet. We've got really nice cabinetry right here. It's actually the same selection that was used over at the vanity. So we custom configured all these drawers so that all of that matches. And then I just love that we can easily have access into the laundry room. That's so convenient. Imagine you've got a load of laundry running. We can go and grab that and bring it into this space. We've worked our way to an area of the home where we now have 9-foot ceiling heights with an 8-inch baseboard, and these doors are no longer at that 8-foot height. We've got them at 6'8", a standard door height. I do think it's very appropriate for this space. Locating a half bath near the garage makes a lot of sense. Whether you're heading out of town and need a quick pit stop, or if you're working outside and need to run inside quickly, you don't have to go all the way across the house. Now, rather than having a pedestal sink in here, we've incorporated cabinetry. Here's why I love having cabinets in these kinds of rooms. We can store extra linens and extra toilet paper in that space, and it gives you as much countertop space as possible. Just over here, we have a normal height countertop, whereas oftentimes these countertops are brought up to extend over the washer and dryer. This is at a very workable height, and this utilizes Corian solid surface, which allows us to have this lid placed over the sink, allowing you extra area to fold your clothes. Something I haven't brought a lot of attention to is the trims around the doors and windows. These are incredible. They're 2x6 hand-hewn trims, and look at the way that they meet the crown molding on this cabinet. That is just perfect. And that's why it's so great to work with Golden Eagle to source all of your trims, windows, and cabinets. Everything like that is thought through ahead of time. With the home being on an angled garage, we've got a bit of a unique space over here. The homeowners, with all the hosting that they do, they wanted to have an ice maker near the garage. That way when they're filling up the coolers, they're gonna head out fishing on the boat, they can easily access that ice maker. We also have the washer dryer on pedestals and a ton of great storage above. And just around the corner here, there is a freezer and a refrigerator. Of course, we've got access to the garage. We'll head out there soon. But before you do, you gotta see what was done above the garage. We have made our way to the eagle's nest. See, that's what's great about being along a lake, is all the wildlife that it attracts. There are so many eagles that are flying around, and that was why this is a very appropriate name for this space. These windows, of course, like the other bedroom windows, have those integrated blinds. That's really wonderful. There is not a bad view in this house. A king-size bed. What a really good use of this space. We're even able to incorporate, see, you've got very unique ceiling planes. So we're able to incorporate a closet in here. Custom height door, so that's of course shorter than normal doors, but we still have this finished off very nicely, and that light automatically came on when I opened the door. And when you're in this space, you also have your own bathroom. What a beautiful bathroom it is, with a beautiful tile surround on that shower, a really big vanity. Continue with the custom mirrors. I think this is an awesome example of how cool Golden Eagle's products are. Look how unique that hewing is. We've got a really nice looking band board continuing through. Now you of course don't have to have timbers in your home, and oftentimes an accessory space like this where it's not used all the time, this is a good way to go with more ordinary finishes. But on this home, everything is done so well. And there are some surprises just around the corner. I gotta show you this. This is a bonus storage room. So while a lot of homes don't utilize this space, we like to do it on ours. And the homeowners took it to a whole new level with this lift that they've incorporated into the floor system. This allows us to bring up and down all the seasonal decorations as well as totes. Let's head downstairs to the garage. There's a lot to show you down there. You're gonna see how easy it is to operate. We have featured lifts in previous home tours, but we've never featured one like this where it completely disappears into that upper storage space. With the flip of a switch here, we're able to easily bring it down. You hear how quiet that is? That's just amazing. Think about the convenience of this storage lift. No more carrying bulky things up the stairs. You can even fit furniture on here. That's just wonderful. And to easily put it on, these bars are removable on each side of the unit. This is an extra large garage. Take a look at the fishing boat. Got the side-by-side right here. And there are 3 doors, one being an extra large one. And then just over here, we're able to drive all the way through. Nobody thinks about this, but you've got the boat docked all summer. And of course it needs to get refueled. So rather than carrying down those heavy 5-gallon gas cans, you can now put them in the side-by-side and drive them right down there. That is great foresight. And even if you do have someone who has some limited mobility, they can hitch a ride on the side-by-side as well and easily get down to the boat and enjoy the beautiful fall day just like we are today. The homeowners love grilling, so they can easily store the grill inside, open up this garage door, and set everything up. And even if it's raining, we've got some good coverage and overhang. And you're not too far removed from all your guests, being that we do have all of this outdoor dining just over here. Take a look at this massive table. These are all Golden Eagle materials on this big pine slab. It's a double live edge. We've got our hand-hewn material building the base of this table. There is simply not a bad spot out here. The homeowners also commented that they love how when the sun is going down, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we get really good shade from the house. So this is certainly a very comfortable environment to be able to enjoy your evening meal, as well as sit along the lakeside. And there are plenty of options for good seating. We've got a fire pit just over here. Some incredible maintenance-free furniture. I just love the cup holders on these. All of these are gliders. We even have more chairs just over here where we can put our feet up on all these boulders. You're gonna see boulders surrounding this entire property. There is tremendous change in grade. So the boulders not only look good, but they also serve a function of retaining the land. While we're looking down at the view of the lake, everyone's looking up at this house. It sure looks great. We have a mixture of 3 different finishes on the walls. There is stone, cedar shakes, and of course, our signature double-hewn log siding. This home has a craftsman-style roof system where the eaves slope back up. Now imagine if those were flat on the return. We would lose that additional wall finish. So this continues making the wall appear more taller, which in fact it really is. You would notice these puck lights that are underneath all of these eaves. And also on the soffits, on the rake side as well. It's some really good extra lighting on this home that you oftentimes don't see. So when I say that this is a craftsman style roof system, a significant feature to that is how the rake extends out from 2 feet all the way up to 3 feet out at its highest point. I think that's really great, and I like how it extends even beyond the big fireplace chase. So a very good visual presence and proportion to that roof system. Now when we look at the main feature wall itself, this big tall wall, we've got massive trims on here, the very large corners. We have beautiful pavers on the back side of this patio. You should see what's being done on the front over here as well. This is just absolutely gorgeous. A very natural stone being used as the front covered porch walking surface. It's as if we have a bunch of scrap material from all these high-end countertops. We've got great veining in it. It's just exquisite. I've never seen anything like this before. By now, you've got to be wondering, how is it that the home got larger, even the garage is larger, and there's so many good improvements, yet at the same time it costs less than the original? Well, simply put, there are a few bells and whistles that weren't done on the outside, yet we still kept a lot of the bells and whistles on the inside. So we don't have timber trusses up there. And there's also not a big timber truss above the garage as well. Even take a look at the covered porch. We've done a flat ceiling with mono truss, engineered trusses, but not the big timber framing that was done on that original. So we'll put a link up here to that original home tour. And we also featured another variation of the timber ranch, and you can check out that one over here as well.